Valorant is, most of the time, a pretty fun shooter. But what if we could make it even better? Well, together with a good friend of mine, Zain, we are on our way to recreate Valorant in Unreal Engine 5. But Archmeton, I hear you cry. What does that mean? Well, it means that there will be no limits in how much we can modify the game, meaning that if we think the Vandal should shoot faster, we make it shoot faster. Or if we want, for example, a new skin, finisher, or even abilities for that matter, we just make it. We will be able to literally defy the laws of limits and make our own maps and game modes. It's a very exciting but long road that will result in many fun and interesting videos. So buckle up and let's compare how Ascent in Unreal Engine 5 looks like compared to the real deal. And how it would be in a scary, foggy night. The first thing you will notice is that in the Unreal version, I don't have my character model imported just yet. So let's get rid of those in the real Valorant real quick. There we go. This is Unreal Engine, and this is Valorant. As you might have noticed, we haven't got the lighting one-to-one just yet. But that's the beauty of having free reign. We can easily change the white balance, saturation, and so onwards to make it look better. It's a long and kinda painful process that will take some time. Before we move on to the next comparison, I just have to highlight how free we actually are. Seriously, look at this. Usually there are some spawn barriers, as you can see right now. But because we replaced Riot as the developers, we can now freely jump the gap and explore what's over there. Just imagine if there weren't any invisible barriers in Valorant. You would be able to flank B lobby on a whole new level. I'm kinda loving this. What if we could jump the fence here? Let's find out. Stupid tree. After carefully moving around this little ledge, we can see into bombsite B and in theory, kill all the defenders while they can't see us. If you are wondering why we can see through this wall, allow me to explain. Valorant is a super well optimized game. The way they optimize is by removing unnecessary textures and keeping the model count as low as possible. Because in a real Valorant game there would be no possible way to get here, they didn't bother to texture these parts of the wall, resulting in us being able to look all the way from here into the bomb site. Delightfully delicious, Seymour. Let's see what the new Uncaged Us can do even more. For example, how about behind the CT spawn? Well, sadly, there isn't much, and after we climb these stairs, we once again see where they quit putting models and textures, as usually you can't see this part. Do you guys also hate it when you're hiding in wine but the opponents droned you out? With the Unreal version of Valorant, you are no longer stuck. Imagine if this happens in a real game, you would definitely get reported straight to the deepest circles of hell. Oh, and by the way, this path behind T-spawn sadly doesn't bring us anywhere, but I swear, I'm glad they blocked us off because I already know that one of these Cypher mains is going to sit here waiting the entire round for an unfortunate soul to try to flank. Damn you Cypher mains. Coming back to the comparison part, here in B main you'll notice probably the biggest difference between Unreal Engine and Valorant. There is a massive, definitely not post-process, like button. You should click it. The current Unreal Engine version is way darker. The real Valorant's lighting is carefully adjusted and mostly even faked to make dark corners light up and lighter corners to dark down, to make the game as competitively viable as possible. In the Unreal version, with ray tracing enabled, you'll notice how shit the FPS is, but most importantly, how dark these places would be if the map was realistically lit up. Can we just appreciate how we made the wet floor even more glossy? There are barely any reflections in the real Valorant, so why not add some to our private playground? And look at that beautiful light bouncing off the wet tiles. Valorant is way too competitive to be made this beautiful and distracting. The final scene we will compare, before we move on to some real spooky stuff, is B main. Let's address the elephant in the room first. There's no distance fog, making the distant island surprisingly dark. Fun fact, we didn't make it that dark. This is how it actually looks like in Valorant. Zain coded it so everything is mostly copied one-to-one. Materials and many textures included get automatically applied and copied over. Once again, we are still working on the lights, but it's getting there. We are also lacking the moving things of the map. like the disturbance above the bomb site B, or occasional dust flowing about. But let's face it, we aren't here to make the map one-to-one with Valorant, that's boring. Let's go crazy. What if we just remove the sun, and increase the brightness of the existing lights by way too much? Doesn't this look lovely? Just us alone, in the dark world. Turning around though reveals a very scary T-spawn. Who knows what terrible horrors hide in the dark. Can I just say that I love how this light looks? Just imagine how it would all look later down the line. Let's take a look at this beautiful, green, frame-eating light. Did you know that the green boxes in Valorant actually emit light? We only managed to find out after increasing the intensity. Let's quickly move up to mid. Having no sky textures really makes everything just that scary, doesn't it? Remember the B-Link from before? Welcome to heaven, am I right? But let's face it, this is way too dark and a night version of Ascent would most definitely not look like this. Introducing the foggy but beautiful starry night on Ascent. How do you think this version of Ascent will play if it was in the game? Would you still want to play Ascent? Let me know in the comment section. I'm just going to let it play for a hot second because this is just so cool. It's just so weird to see a map you've played on for so many hours to be suddenly dark and foggy. I'm not sure how it would be playable as operators would be basically useless. Not to mention pushing mid would be a smart tactic as they can't see you from far away. This spot is by far my favorite. The lights really add to the atmosphere. I also love how the moon looks like from bombsite A. What if we make the map even foggier? Once again, the new developers we have all the freedom to change whatever we want, so here we go. Just change the fog density value from 0.05 to 0.2 and welcome to the mist. Maybe you should buy a Phantom instead of a Vandal, because there's no point tapping anymore. It would be way too difficult to see someone in tapping range. And once again, mid, just like before, but now even worse, is just a huge mist trap. Like seriously, I can only see the attackers when I move all the way into the open, spooky mist. Oh, speaking of the devil, notice how we just bounced against this piece of grass? In real Valorant, that would never happen and you just phase through, just like with other debris on the floor. Riot carefully made collisions all around the maps to make sure your movement is as smooth as possible. Meaning they made kind of a second invisible floor and walls around the map that you move on. It's a way better method to smooth things out, and basically all games use that method to make movement smoother. But since it's not the biggest priority right now, we chose for the lazy way and to make everything have a collision. So that's why grass is kinda bumpy. Speaking of bumping, let's bump up the fog density once more. Forget the Phantom, because bookie it is from now on. Imagine playing a 5v5 game with knives only on a random generated thick fogged map like this. In any corner there could be someone hiding, ready to jumpscare you to death. The days of contesting mid with an operator or a Phantom is over. From now on, you contest mid with a shotgun. You know what? Maybe we should add fog like this to Valorant. It would definitely nerf Chamber, which, let's be honest, is a nerf waited long overdue. Like I said at the beginning of the video, this is just a small showcase of what's coming in the future. We will add and make custom skins, custom finishes and even weapons to make it a new kind of Valorant. If you want to see more content and follow the journey, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps. But for now, that's it for this video. Take care now. And also watch my previous videos, they're really good, thank you.